Good morning, traders. Paul here with GammaEdge. Today is Friday, the 26th of August. Let's get started. Pause your players here. Read to the end. It's important to you. It's important to us. If you agree, hit the play button. The summary for today is constructively on the bullish side. We are looking to see what's going to happen with some news cycles today, but overall the market model is in a short-term uptrend. We did reverse yesterday, and you'll see that here shortly. The intermediate trend is still down. This could change today depending on what happens with Jay Powell's comments here at 10 a.m. Eastern time. The long-term trend is up, but it's under pressure, and you'll see that here. I would watch for the cumulative tick to clear the moving average. We have a set of ribbons there, or a set of moving averages that form a ribbon, colored ribbon, and I would watch for clearing that. That'll actually reset the intermediate term uptrend and turn it on. So we're watching for that. Of course, this is just with paper trades. Nothing here is a recommendation to buy or sell any security or do anything with your actual portfolios. We are seeing a clear reversal to the upside, so I would urge everyone to watch for opportunities to enter on pullbacks and know your risk levels. Don't get out over your skis. There are some storm clouds on the horizon, and I think that's important. We do have negative deltas overhead. Historically, when we've seen that, it's difficult to make an aggressive move upward that is sticky into the close. We could certainly play up there intraday. A lot of opportunities to move higher, but we do think there is overhead resistance. A lot of supply up there, so just be careful. Down to 41.50, we closed at 41.99 and change. So down to 41.50 is pretty clear. You could bounce around pretty easily down to that level. If we drop below the 41.45, 41.50 zone, it opens up the door to 4100, and below 4100 we lose almost all downside support. So we could see 4,000 easily tested if we give up 4100. That being said, we do think 4,000 is safe. There is a lot of delta, a lot of gamma down there. We got the JPM hedge. There's a lot sitting down there, so I'm looking specifically at how to sell premium down there for a while. So we'll see what happens here. As I said, the market model is constructively bullish, improving. So over here at Circle 1, when we had the CT actually cross the upper part of the ribbon, that was a negative signal, but the trend lines were still up at this point. So the long-term trend is still intact. We're still in pretty good shape, but just something to be watchful of, mindful of. We go over here to Circle 2, so you had this entire downtrend spanning here. We go to Circle 2, and you can see we're actually starting to pull up and cross into what we call the downward sloping railroad track. These are very, very short-term moving averages. And when we see market sentiment start to pull up like this, it's probably time to take your profits on those downside plays, and then just let the noise kind of settle things out. So end of day evaluation, the short-term signal, long signal started, and the reason that occurred is that we're actually making higher highs, and we're closing very, very closely to where things could get constructive. The long-term trend was still intact at the start of yesterday's session, and you can see we did continue across that close open boundary, which I like to see. That's always a good thing, and you can see that we stayed above the short-term moving averages, forming that railroad track up pattern into the close yesterday. Nice takeoff on the ski jump here, or whatever you want to call it. I think the key takeaway now that we're watching for is for the cumulative tick to clear the MA ribbon, moving average ribbon. If we do clear that ribbon, the intermediate term timer will turn on, and we'll still be in the long side of this. Now, there's a lot of storm clouds, like I said, on the horizon, right? So we're weak, we're close to this. It's not a strong bull, but this is how a new signal is formed, and you got to take it day by day. You have to take the signals as they present themselves. You can't second guess. Just don't get out over your skis. So what I'm looking to do personally is watch for this today. I will enter long positions as we continue to get constructive behavior across here. I'd like to see that continuation pattern go here. And on any pullback, I would probably, most likely I'll enter some long positions for a swing trade across the weekend. We'll see. Taking a look at the overall SPX condition, prior day, we had lost the net positive gamma condition dominating the net negative gamma, and you can see that here in the wing charts where the red wing, the net negative gamma, is dominating over the green wing, which is the net positive gamma. That reversed yesterday, and that reverses under two conditions. First thing is that gamma drops as price moves up, so that's part of it. The other part is people are closing those puts and opening calls. And when we see that, we see this type of behavior where you get this structural change. We're at what's called parity in the SPX-A. This is the AM settled here in the middle. This is the combo, which is the combination of AM and PM. And I think the key takeaway is a little fragile, no question. We need to see continued behavior to the upside, but we're getting it, and just keep looking for this. And all these charts, of course, are available to you in the Discord. OI change, you can see just quite a change in behavior between calls and puts. Puts on the right, calls on the left, and this is 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, 2 days ago, and then yesterday. What I like to point out to everyone is make sure you watch the major divisions, right? So 50,000 here, 50,000 here. You can see that where the distribution of puts are going and where the distribution of calls are going. So you can actually see just side by side in terms of the expiries that people are placing some bets as we go up. People open up positions that are out there in fairly low levels. Not saying that they're expecting to go down to 2,000 or 2,500, but certainly they could be selling some of the premium down here to pay for some of the hedges that are going on up here. So just be aware of this. You can see where things have been closed and where things have been opened in terms of the overall strike distribution. And you can see how this has changed just dramatically over the course of the 3 days. As we turn the bottom and start pushing upward, you can see where folks are really starting to get serious about how they shift their sentiments. Taking a look at key levels today, 4,300 upside, 4,000 to the downside. Those are the two goalposts. I think what's important is that we do have a higher expected move here today. I don't think we're getting anywhere near this, and you'll see why here in a minute. A little bit of the storm clouds that I was talking about are sitting right here. This is derived from the delta notional, and when we see large gamma combined with a negative sign on the delta, very weak, but still there, still very much present here. It's very, very difficult to make a move up into this area sticky. There's a lot going on in this particular structure, and I don't think it's necessarily going to be constructive for us to close anywhere near 4,300 today. Could be wrong, and I probably jinxed it with that, but I don't see it happening. The 0 DTE, a couple things stick out. First thing is that we have an extremely well-defined transition here at this 4165, 4160 level, 4170 level. Just watch that. Keep an eye on that. That would be a natural hiding place into the close. Negative gamma below that. I don't think we're going anywhere near this to the downside. To the upside, which is way up here, 315. I don't think we're getting up there. If we do push north, I think we start stalling, and this is from the 0 DTE perspective. I think this 4270, 4275 area is probably the maximum we're going to see. And you'll see that confirmed on the next slide. But the key takeaway is that we're here. We could see a lot of pushing around up in here. Here's plus GEX for the 0 DTE, 4250. Moneyness really starts flipping quite a bit as we move up here. So there could be a push to monetize, and that will be a downward boat anchor on the complex. So just keep that in mind as we go forward. This is the reason I don't think we're going to push aggressively up into here. When we take a look at the entire structure, now this is the mothership combined with all those little SPXP, the PM settled, a lot of open interest here, and a lot of gamma sitting here. You can see that we've got some problems up in this area. The net delta notional, as we go through here, starts flipping in signs, the magnitudes, and it starts getting some pretty serious divergences between the negative here and the positive here. When we see that, it's really hard to absorb this. The model changes from this net positive condition over into a negative overhead. When we have that negative overhead, we just rarely do we see a push up into this level that remains sticky. So I want everyone to be mindful of that. Downside 4,000, like I said, 91 billion sitting down here, net delta notional down here, and I just can't see us going through this area. A little bit of a crack in the ice starting to develop, some weak deltas that are down here. As these get weaker and weaker and weaker, the floor starts eroding. Think of literally sand under your toes on the beach, and as the waves come in, it just pulls that sand out. It's kind of what we're starting to see down here. So again, that's the storm clouds that I was talking about. Transitions is a boxed area here. As long as we remain above it, we'll see some dealer pressure. That's good. I can see us being fairly trapped. There might be some news today, of course, with Jay Powell and Jackson Hole, but I do think we're fairly trapped in this area. If we break into this area, that 4150 is probably the last line in the sand before 4100. Below 4100, things get really ugly and weak very, very quickly down to 4000. Below 4000, not shown, is opens the door to 3900, and you'll see that on the next slide here. Just keep study this, keep an eye on it. Yeah, if you have questions, come into the Discord and ask. So the last slide here, 4,300 plus GEX, 4,000. I don't know why this says 4,100. I made a mistake there. It should say 4,000 there. 3,900, we are growing in the magnitudes down here. We closed right here. You can see that we're right below this 4,200 line. Fairly weak relative to this. We're definitely in that positive gamma area, so a lot of adjustments going on as we push upward here. 4150 is that clear line here, 4,000 or 4,100 sitting right here, and below that 4,100 it's negative. All right, so just everyone keep in mind what's happening here. So I think the 4150 has got to stick. If it doesn't stick, then I would think 4,000 would be a nearer term target here to the downside and play accordingly. And with the magnitudes here starting to become more and more equivalent, I would be mindful of a potential push, especially if we see the net notional on the deltas continuing to drop, which means we have an easier ability to absorb that as we move down. So something to keep your mind on, and things to watch for. So that's it for today. If you like today's content, urge everyone to come and join us at GammaEdge.us. That will take you to a sign-up page. Click on the pricing tab, fill out the blanks, and come into the Discord. We have a great group of traders and investors, all sizes, all shapes, portfolio sizes, experience levels. It's a pretty amazing group, and I want to thank everyone for participating there. Getting larger, and it's a lot of fun. Follow us on Twitter at GammaEdges with an S, and then here on YouTube, of course. If you like today's content, let me know that I'm on the right track. Smash that like button, and then of course subscribe here on YouTube so that you can get notified next time myself, Taylor, or Mike post a video. So with that, I bid you farewell. Make it a great Friday. Make it a great weekend. Bring your questions into the Discord. Happy to engage, and we'll go from there. All right, everyone. Take care.